kind of hopeful for Army Genesis. I want this to work, to be honest.
Yeah, the DB Bloodseeker is going to be a pretty fun one to see here. He does sometimes, I feel like, lose the plot, tends to, in some of these team fights. So that's going to be my only real concern for him here, especially on a hero like Bloodseeker, who generally does need to be very free to move around and do really whatever he pleases here. So that's something I'm a bit scared of. But we've got pretty amazing single target here for AG, which is what you really do want against a Morphling. As, you know, the rest of the heroes, they're unfortunately just not going to be bringing that much, right? Jamesy, ideally, is going to be there to create plenty of space here for you early on into the game so that Morph can actually farm, right? It is going to be that... Pardon me, it is going to be the Van on the off-lane Shaker, which means he's going to have the items and the levels to maybe actually go for a second item, Aghanim Scepter on our Morphling, as Eris is going to get chain stunned, silenced up, and killed here for first blood out from AG. They still really like going for the early smoke plays, and they find themselves another kill. Some chicken for first blood.
Yeah. This is good. I mean, I think this is the kind of lineup that actually suits RBG's style, to be honest. This is an incredibly aggressive lineup that they run. And it's also the kind of lineup where my doubts about Lina, well, honestly, it doesn't really matter anymore because she's going to be played as a position 4. But my doubts about Tiny, which are very similar, kind of get thrown out the window. Because if this goes late for you, like if Tiny has to transition from mid laner to being kind of a pseudo carry, it's too late already. Right? You're already losing the game.
That's a good point, right? Because I would normally say that that's probably the point at which AG is the weakest here. Assuming that they draw just about even in lanes, because you're completely right, because then that's a lot of the single target nuke damage that you're relying on to kill Morphling. Because I'm telling you, AG make that, Cignal Ultra, they don't really have much if the Morphling is dead. If Morphling dies in a fight past 30 minutes, it's like, well, we have pretty decent team fight, but not against a Bloodseeker, not against a Legion, not against a Lina, right? They kind of only have one carry.
What do you mean? You mean Cignal? You think that they lose if this goes late?
Yes.
Quite the opposite, I was going to say, to be honest. I think that the lineup is for... I think that Cignal, just because you have one real carry, you know? I mean, a Legion, if she does get a lot of duels, I can see how you can be a secondary carry, and Tiny again if he transitions, but I don't find that Rubik is going to fall off that quickly. He's just there to create some space, and Morphling out carries literally all your 3 carries combined.
Yeah, but you have so much single target already for him. Like, that's the thing, though. AG, they can't get caught up always trying to just, oh, kill the Morphling, because there's too much counter-initiate, and there's too much team fight on the side of Cignal to back him up. Like, it's not going to be easy peasy. It's not a free game, but I just think if they can get that one kill, if they misplay it at all on the Morphling, if he gets caught out, if he gets surprised by a silence, he's in, I mean, just the rest of Signal's in for a bad time. How do you fight without a Morphling past 30 minutes with this roster? You just have to hope for a perfect engagement. I think you're asking for too much. It's not that easy to execute here for them.
I don't know, man. I think you're really doubting the strategy of the Morphling, honestly. I think you're also overestimating perhaps how strong Bloodseeker could be as a carry, because you have anti-synergy with your stats with the Blood Rage, to be honest. Because now you're going to use Blood Rage on yourself, which is quite decent. But you're going to lose too much HP when you start taking it. So that's why my concern is there. However, your lanes are going to go really well. That's why I think that AG is really going to be doing well in this early game. And we're seeing this against Aris already. I mean, the Bloodseeker is a really strong lane. That's one of his strongest suits. That's why he's being played as an offlaner a lot. And that's why I thought he'd be running you down, honestly. If once the Morphling gets the Ags, yeah, you can go for Blame Mail on Bloodseeker, mitigate it a bit, and of course Tandy can sort of tank it, but I'm just gonna, like, seriously, I don't know. I don't know how you think that that's gonna just fall to 3. They don't have the damage to kill the Morphling. Bloodseeker is just not that great as a carry anymore.
They're gonna get a kill again
Nice
onto
laning.
Eris up top lane. I mean, it is going really well for DB here, so we'll see if he pops off. And I don't really see a way how Morphling gets to that farmed state. I don't know. That's
the Rubik's role, right? Rubik is here to be the ultimate space creator. He falls off at around minute 20 or so, or realistically, honestly, at minute 20.
Yeah.
He starts being not as strong and more of a utility core here. But in the early game, he's gonna do really well in his lane. Start rotating early.
But that's kind of my concern, though, is that's when Tiny minute 20 that's when he's gonna be his strongest, right? Because that's his peak timing of blink +1, usually gonna be the Echo Saber almost always. You're gonna have the off-lane teamfight presence of a Legion, who's going to have at least a Blink Bagger by then. Abad is not going to be ready to fight by minute 20. That's my concern.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, when we say falls off, I think that it's exaggerated because it's not like Rubik becomes useless in mid 20. It's more like Rubik is not
Yeah,
the strongest
he's
hero
just
in
a
the game.
really farm support. He's not
No,
useless.
no, that's not true. For the first 20 minutes of the game, Rubik mid is the strongest hero in the game.
Yeah, but after 20.
But then after that, he's just okay.
That's what I mean. We're gonna have a little bit of time where I don't think Abed is ready. I think
We'll see. I am more trustful in this Cignal draft than you think coming to the late game. Though I think that Genuises can just run them down. I don't think that the late game is that bad as you think. But we'll see. I'm just gonna wait until you eat your words.
okay. I'm so confident on this man.
Very confident.
Let's
I love the Rubik mid. I think it is very underappreciated here. And people always call it, oh, if you don't win the first 20 minutes, afterwards you just start becoming useless. Well, not really. Otherwise teams wouldn't pick it if he was that useless. Right? Clearly, Jamesy especially is the second time we see it in the tournament. Last time was incredible for him as well. So I'm trusting in Cignal's intuition here. Up top, though, it's going to be really difficult. And that's happening because Earthshaker is not the greatest laner, and Bloodseeker's taking advantage of this consistently. He actually went for 2 points in Thirst early, which usually you actually max the blood rate as soon as possible. But when you want to stay in lane, farm as much as possible, and annoy the Earthshaker, because they're giving you all this free farm, yeah, why not?
Oh, Mamangaya might be dead here. We got a Fade Bolt in 1 second, and he's going to find that kill. Nice job there, utilizing the haste rune. Although his courier is going to stay alive. Thankfully, the creep don't aggro to it, as they only needed a bit more damage there. But a big kill there onto the mid lane, Tiny.
I expected the Tiny to do much better in this lane because I thought, he has enough damage to actually mitigate, Fade Bolt's impact. But I guess that Fade Bolt now that his percentage damage reduction doesn't really matter for Tiny.
Van was a little bit late there on the fissure top. Just such an easy combo to execute. Nice job putting down the Blood Right, and then, or while a Magic Missile rather, is mid-air. So that really the Phoenix has no chance to even dodge it with the Icarus Dive. Really good stuff. Because even if you do get the Icarus Dive off, because you're silenced, you can't cancel it. So you're going to be coming back right to where you were, as actually DB gets a second kill onto Van as he tries to contest the stack. This Bloodseeker is going to get really farmed here at this rate. They need to do something about this.
I mean, do you really? This is not unexpected. I don't think you look at his net worth though. I mean, he is only 200 gold above the Rubik. It's not that crazy because he has been fighting a lot and not really getting last hits. To me, the concern is bigger that the Earthshaker is being completely cancelled. Right?
I don't know. I think that's a good point, but I think you're also discounting a lot the Bloodseeker here. Yeah, he's better in the offlane. I don't disagree with you there, but AG, they've chosen to run him here, and I think he's, especially with this start, is still going to be able to actually make a lot of space and fight early against the Rubik, who does have a really good start here. He's 35-4. He actually got a solo kill onto the Tiny at that, so he's got a full level advantage. So I think Jamesy might do well to actually maybe try and help this top lane out.
No, what I mean with that is that denying Bloodseeker farm, even if his lane goes badly, he would still be pretty farm. Like, this is not incredible farm for the Bloodseeker either, in terms of what a Bloodseeker does, because he has such great farming, especially dead laning. He can go for some really dangerous farm, and that makes it so that Twin Protector.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to catch him.
Yeah, there we go. With a toss, they kill him. Nice calculation. So it's not that concerned to you. Like, you don't really need to gank this hero as much. You need to stop him from being aggressive more than ganking.
There's the Rupture, top lane. They will be rotating on over. We do have Eris nearby for the Fire Spirits. Actually, 2 points into the Fire Spirits. Magic Missile. DB needs a bit more. Another Fire Spirit coming out, but it's going to heal him up no matter what. And actually get a kill on the Morphling down bottom without a duel.
And here with the Phoenix, also in trouble. There's the Living Armor, not going to really work. They need to start playing much more defensive on this area, though. Like, what I'm saying is, you don't need to gank this guy, you don't need to kill him, but you certainly can't let him get more and more kills. This guy, he's farming right now.
Yeah, he's 5-0-0.
Yeah, exactly. And he is foregoing a lot of his last hits because he's going for all these kills, right? And you should actually be punishing that by TPing really aggressively. But I guess since your Morphling is losing his lane against Legion 2, it's a bit difficult. You don't have anyone free to rotate. Maybe Jamesy. Jamesy should be doing that.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I just said.
Yeah, but I misunderstood you. It's not to gank. You don't need to gank. You need to save, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, sure. Yeah, I guess he needs to rotate that, not necessarily a gank. He needs to come top and just apply some pressure, boot him out of the lane, put him into the jungle, do something. But right now, they're going to go for Jamesy instead, actually, as it's going to be DB making the rotation over to him, saying hello, and getting the kill onto him. 8-1 here in favor of AG. It's been just kind of a It's still not that gone, to be honest, because these early kills are great and all. 6-0-0 on DB is fantastic. No one's denying that, but it's hard to really translate early kills. It's really easy, rather, to throw away that lead, right? One kill and you end up giving something like 500-600 gold at this stage of the game already with the kill streak bonus. So it's not completely over here yet. We still have time here for Jamesy to be extremely relevant. He will finally rotate towards the top lane and see what he can get done here. This is a big moment for them.
Yeah, but it's not too good. Oh, maybe with a Bloodseeker kill. It's kind of difficult to bring him down, though. He still has the Rupture available. That was a stolen blood right by Jamesy. Sorry, my bad. So stolen blood right guarantees this kill. Really good steal by Jamesy. Actually, one of the reasons why Rubik is kind of nice against Bloodseeker. He only got 2 points in it, though. Maybe thinking about the Rubik in mind? I don't know. But that was a nice little rotation by Jamesy. Kill the Bloodseeker, stop the momentum a bit, and stop playing so static the lane. Because you can't really play static against a fast line.
How much gold did he get? 444 gold alone on Jamesy.
Phoenix. Yeah, I wish it was Jamesy's gold.
Oh, no, it is for the Phoenix. You're right. Good point. I thought the Fade Bolt netted them the kill. Did not. Surprising, considering it must have been a maxed Fade Bolt at that point. But hey, they get the kill regardless, and that's the most important thing here. That's going to allow some pressure here, or relieve, rather, a little bit of pressure from a Bat, who actually still doesn't even have power treads. He's gone for the Morbid Mask first, so that makes sense, but that just kind of shows he's not really had that fun of a lane. Already booted into the jungle.
How does Cignal slow down the game now, though? Because they can't keep letting this happen. Bloodseeker's not rotated down to the bottom lane because he doesn't feel really threatened up top. But Legion Commander's also having free farm, which is kind of dangerous. Yeah,
you just play around Jamesy. I think you're totally right. Right now, like you're saying, for the next 10 minutes, Rubik is going to be the strongest hero in the game right now. And I think they just need to play that advantage, have him be a little bit more active. He's still soaking levels as he really wants these Boots of Travels. Honestly, I think at this stage of the game, it's not too ridiculous to just go, you know what, I just need to do whatever I can in the short term to give my team as much as a buff as possible. I think I might even go for the Aether Lens currently. Although the Boots of Travel is really good too, because that allows you to be global. But then the problem is, like, he really kind of needs an Aether on top of that. Like, the Boots, they're so expensive, and they're going to be smoking to him.
Yeah, I think he's going to die here with the Blood Right. I mean, even if you will keep walking, you're a Rubik, you're just way too vulnerable. Fairy Fire is nice, but you're only delaying the inevitable. How useless is this offlane, though, for Cignal? Like, they haven't been able to do absolutely anything. They can't really rotate. You have way too many heroes that are... I mean, you're right, actually. I want to... Like, I didn't really see how useless the rest of the draft is for the early game, but it really is just Rubik versus 5. Right?
That's kind of... Yeah, it takes...
I see your point.
I think, unfortunately, we're not going to see this go late game. I really would have loved to see, a Bat, you mad lad. He needs to be careful, this Morphling. Another reason, actually, why Bloodseeker is doing so well. Look at this. Just Thirst. Thirst almost always active, right? Because it's so efficient to be on high agility. That makes it much more dangerous for him to play. He has to leave XP range. Otherwise, Legion Commander can kind of just kill him with a cheeky overwhelming odds. Or at least there's always the threat there, right? Because he's going to have the vision with Thirst. And already, a 10-minute Blink Dagger on Legion. With phase boots and a bracer.
Yeah, not bad. And usually I would say Blink Dagger first on Legion, not the greatest thing in the world, but when you...
This game is fantastic.
Yeah, for this game, right, because you're trying to run the enemy team down.
And
Bloodseeker, he's going to be going for the old build, right, where you actually take advantage of your attack speed on Blood Rage.
Yeah.
To use like MKB and Maelstrom and whatever.
Yep.
Someone in the chat, by the way, is claiming that Bloodseekers never go for Blood Rage and didn't never put it on themselves.
That's not true.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're stuck in 2005 maybe.
Yeah, they've changed the hero quite a bit.
And no longer silences, by the way, brother. It actually gives you attack speed.
Brother. Yeah, it's changed. Oh, mid lane, there's going to be the duel, the Blink Dagger reveal onto Jamesy. Oh, goodness, it is going south here for him. And yet again, he's not made any progress here for his Boots of Travel, which, again, this is what I mean. Maybe if he goes for the Aether instead, is a bit more of a fighting presence earlier on at the cost of rotating a bit slower. It's just that 2,000 gold right now. He's not doing anything. That's just money wasted at this point.
I agree with you. I agree with the concept of the Boots of Travel. I think you should also be adapting considering the game is going badly for you. Yeah. That's not great.
Boots of Travel is fantastic if you're strong, because realistically, he has those 2-3 minutes ago even, right? And he's rotating on our map with stolen spells. He's confusing the hell out of the enemy team with a stolen Bloodorite, which, even though he has the Rupert Arcana, is not green. Actually, he doesn't have the Rupert Arcana, which I think is smart in professional games because it's way too obvious.
Especially for Bloodrite, by the way. I think it's the most confusing spell. You have to actually tell your team.
100%.
And if it shows green, it's very, very obvious.
Yeah, so I don't know. I disagree with Jamesy here. I think he played excellently for the first 7 minutes of the game, even netting himself a solo kill. But then after that, I think, come on, dude, it's time to start rotating even before the Boots of Travels.
But where do you go, though? Where do you go? Like, seriously,
Top?
this... Yeah, but this top is two heroes that really cannot help you because you run an Earthshaker offlane, which is good for the Morphling, you know, for the Morphling combo, but that's what you were saying in the draft, right? I'm not so confident in Earthshaker anymore, and there's a reason for it, especially as an offlaner.
Yeah,
right? So, like,
I mean...
as a 4, okay, but as an offlaner?
Yeah, I get that, but he still has 2 stuns, and you also have a train. What they ran? Who did they run? They ran a Phoenix up there. Like, that's so much damage early, especially with Fade Bolt max. Like, I don't think it matters because Bloodseeker, he's not anymore, obviously, with a full drums and level 10, right? But for the first like for pre-10 minutes, he is pretty darn squishy, right? He depends a lot on his healing. Yes, he has the Venge there to save him, but without swap, you don't really have that built-in save, making it much more difficult. Like, I still think it is a major misstep for him not to refuse to rotate a bit earlier. Hopefully he's fixing that now, but it looks like he's still continuing to farm the triangle a little bit and not applying any pressure whatsoever. This is really, I think, a mistake because AG, I believe, are at their weakest. But here they go finally. Oh no, the overgrowth doesn't catch anyone. The blink out in time.
Now you lost as well your tool to come back to the game.
Oh,
James Z might also fall here. Okay, you just lost your tool to come back with the Supernova plus Overgrowth and James Z, so that's another failed gank. More time to army Genuises. Yeah, they're going to run you over.
I think, yeah, this game is looking real difficult here. This game is looking real bad. Well, look at this even. Oh, they messed up the toss, but that should still be a dual victory. Underneath the tier 2, 14 minutes in. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really would have loved to see which one of us was right because although sometimes chat thinks we hate each other, we don't. We just have we've had a friendly discussion about Dota, you know, and it's fun to see the 2 schools of thought. You know, it's like scholarly debate.
Yeah, but in the end, we both agreed on one very simple thing: with the army just run you over.
Yeah.
Okay, we said this like 15 times.
Good kill.
And
good kill by a bat. Nice job.
Yeah, good kill, but James Z also stuck in the Blood Rage. He can't really do much, and this is the problem, right? Like, and let's not forget, Blood Rage is also used here on the Tiny to amplify his magical damage to get the Avalanche toss even further, which is a ridiculous amplification here. It's really, really nice. So you actually have 2 really viable targets. Tiny maybe to initiate a team fight, and you when everyone is low after Tiny has initiated. The synergy is good. I mean, Armitage clearly had a plan. I'm not gonna... As I said, I love the Bloodseeker offlane, but in this case, the Bloodseeker carry kind of worked out very well. They might have seen the weakness of the Earthshaker Phoenix lane, to be honest.
Yeah, to be quite honest with you, I was actually kind of shocked that lane was so weak. I thought they would have had a little bit of a better time, but just a nicely executed combo there by the Bloodseeker and Venge. You know, that lane's on an auto win. You have to play it fairly nicely, and they did exactly that. I mean, 5 kills pre-10 minutes on your Bloodseeker. Thank you very much.
Right, but that's the thing, right? You know this guy is one of the strongest laners in the meta right now, and you, as you mentioned, completely leaving him alone. But my concern is not even that you're ganking him, is that when he's diving towers 2-3 times...
Speaking of gank, they're going to be going for a bat.
TPs from your team.
Oh, this could be terrible. I think he sniffs this out. Yeah, good scan. Great scan out from Cignal. As you can see, the map's completely dark for them. Tiny's not showing. Venge isn't showing. They're getting the heck out of there. Good.
Managed to get closer and closer to his link.
And a counter smoke. This is great, especially if they can catch Bloodseeker here. But they don't have a scan.
The smoke is pretty long though. There's been off the map for a really long time.
Oh, but they have a blink. They have a blink on Van.
It's okay. It's just a Lina. I mean, if you kill or not, doesn't really matter. It's just a fly. In fact, it might lose the Earthquake as a result. Echo Slam. Maybe we can get a Tiny as a result kill. Van being helped. The Overgrowth. They want to try to go for James Z. James Z, though, he just won 1 kill, which is Mamang Daya, and he will fall. Phoenix activates the Supernova, and James trying to defend it. They do the swap, so Yuka can actually hit it, but the Enchant Totem stops them from destroying the Supernova.
Wow.
And the egg will complete. Armitage is now in trouble as Cignal. They actually used the mid-game powerhouse they had with the Twin Protector and the Phoenix. Really well played here.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
This is the comeback team fight that you need.
It is, and that's the thing, right? That's why they're not out of it yet. It's just hard, because their team fight is amazing, to be honest. It's so damn good here, in case you didn't just witness that. And I think AG there, they made the mistake that I was worried about them, if you recall when I was talking about, oh, just kill the Morph, right? You can't just focus on getting kills. It's all about the team fight here still, especially early on. Big costly mistake. I have no idea why Bloodseeker decided to just kind of go YOLO in there. It's still okay, but this is time where he's not farming. This is time where a bat can now catch up. He's already level 13, making a mad dash towards that Lincoln Sphere, which is going to be really, really helpful. But again, AG, they've done a good job of drafting ways to pop through that immediately, so it's not going to be enough for him to fight. But it will at least give him sustain, or more survivability, and a little bit of team fight presence. So that's good, because they definitely need anything they can get right now.
that was whose blood was that? If they take this tower, this allows you to start to really reduce the Morphling's farm. It's actually been one of the weaknesses in Emergency's lineup. They've been getting a lot of kills, but unable to push very much, has made it very difficult for them to slow down the Morphling's farm. And Abad is actually getting no, he's actually finished his Lincoln Sphere at a decent timing.
Yeah,
and
it's a good recovery.
Like I said, you know, if you the Rubik might not be that great right now, but if the Morphling just ends up arming himself, you're gonna be in a pickle. You need to close down this game by starting to take some towers. This is one of the advantages of having a Trim Protector on your team. He did actually max the living armor relatively early.
They might. Okay, well now they see the Lincolns though, so there's gonna be no dual attempt there. But the problem is right now, I don't know what you go for next. You can go for Ags, but you need to give Van some secure farm here for him to actually have the levels for it to be worth it. Because either he can max the Enchant Totem, which he should. They might have a kill here, actually. It's a bit tough. It's a bit tough. Blood Rage stolen? Actually, with a bat nearby, this is very possible now. DB maybe over his head here, not to quote the line here, as they're actually going to have multiple Blood Rights here potentially, but DB is going to be a little bit too fast for them. The counter rotations, Bamang Daya looking to turn this one. But he's going to be a bit too far away. Van is going to, get the blink out. No, he will be lost, unfortunately. Great duel, or great blink actually by Womi, making sure that he blinks away from the predicted fissure. Nice, smart play there.
Yeah, and Van is not that important if he dies, to be honest. He's gotten the Blink Dagger. I think this Earthshaker is much more of a support this game than a real offlaner. But as a support Earthshaker, you really only need Blink Dagger and then be alive for Morphling to copy you later on.
He needs levels, though. He needs levels.
That's true.
He really needs experience. He doesn't really need his gold so much. It's, that's whatever. He just needs to be a blood bag that has a lot of experience here for his Morphling, right? Because he is going to be going straight into the Aghanim Scepter, which I agree. It's really good this game here for a bat. But fundamentally, this will fail if we don't have at least, level 14 here on Shaker is what we need? Yeah.
Oh, right, because he hasn't actually maxed Enchant Totem yet?
Nope.
I think he would probably... He's probably going to max it next, as the next...
Definitely.
If the Morphling is going for Axe so quickly, because usually Morphlings don't go to Axe until, level 20 or so?
Yeah, but then that's going to make the fissure a bit weaker, which isn't that a big deal.
I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. If you're committing to the Morphling Shaker, you have to commit to the Morphling Shaker, right? You can't half-ass it.
I agree.
Especially in this game, because you're afraid of them running you over. And see, because Bloodseeker went for a more traditional carry build, supposed to say the Dagon build that could have worked, because you're up against a Morphling. You can't run them out as much, right? Part of the beauty of DB right now is here that you're going to farm a lot. He's taking a bunch of stacks, which is very smart, using the Maelstrom. And you can't completely crush the Morphling here. You want to take team fights instead, which is a bit difficult against Phoenix. And
I have to still express my concern here with the style of play that Genuises exhibited thus far on the Rubik. Has dual stolen. He, after the Boots of Travel, a 2,500 actually technically item, he's gone for the Blink Dagger, another 2,250 item, which neither of these items gives him any stats. They do give him great mobility, that's no denying that, but he hasn't really been that much of a presence here this game. 2, 6, and 3 on the mid lane Rubik at 20 minutes. I feel like you're expecting a little bit more when there's 15 kills against you. I don't know. Hopefully you can still turn this around. He's still really strong right now, to be quite honest with you. But again, I think I would have preferred to see the Aether Lens just for a little bit more presence here, at least before the Blink Dagger. But who knows? He is the professional player.
This is the Jamesy build, though. I think we've seen him do this the last time we saw him on Rubik, right? He just really enjoys the map presence a bit more.
Yeah.
But I do agree with maybe the Aether Lens would have helped you a bit. I don't know, because Bloodseeker just closes the gap so quickly, right? So is 200 range really that major? Maybe Jamesy considers that's not really the case. There's a smoke gank again from AG. Again, you probably Blood Rage the time to begin with. He does the combo. There we go.
Train Protector's spotted.
It's too easy to get kills with this. Avalanche toss, incredible rims. And
they might get more.
Thinking of Jamesy as well. They have a duel on James, which is a very interesting steal. Not really going to work out for you unless Morphling is nearby, though.
Yeah, it could be useful against the Tiny, but very unlikely.
I mean, 400 gold away from that. That's quite quick.
I mean, he's farming his ass off here, this Morphling, so I gotta give respect here to Abat, because this is just absolutely incredible, his recovery, because he really got booted out of lane 8-9 minutes in as a Morphling, which is pretty tough. Yeah, but that was because of I mean, you just were losing all your lanes, right? So you had the difficulty of, except for the mid lane, difficulty of too much staticness in both of your lanes, because neither supports were able to go, right, when you were being ganked. So what they would do is they would just take turns ganking both of your lanes. It was so difficult for you to recover. That speaks more, I think, to AG's strengths, right, as a really good early game lineup than to Cignal's lackings. Actually, you lied to me. We're more than 400 gold away. We're still a little bit further.
Oh, no, he bought something else then. I swear. Or maybe he... Oh, maybe he was missing one of the things. Sorry, because he had BKB queued up.
I understand.
That's my bad. But yeah, okay, 600 gold away now.
Yeah,
He's almost got it.
It's whatever. He's almost there. In the meantime, though, it's okay because Grims has farmed himself a nice item with the Blink Dagger, Phoenix as well with the Meteor Hammer. So there's some big items here coming for really just aiding the overall team fight here on the side of Cignal Ultra. So again, that's something AG still does not hold a candle to. I think they'd be well off going for some of these more scrappy engagements and not looking to engage, like, you know, formally. We're looking for a more of guerrilla warfare for them, not the whole meet your enemy on the battlefield, you know, with your battle standard, sound the trumpet, because they're going to lose that one, even with the 3K lead here, relatively early into the game.
Right now, why AG is just currently farming. We just got the BKBs on Bloodseeker. He actually just revealed it. Usually when you see these little... Because BKB is actually one of the bigger power spikes this game, and usually I would expect a smoke by this time.
Yes.
They actually get living the morph to farm completely. Who just got Ags.
Yeah.
I think he probably should wait until level 18, because that reduces the morph cooldown considerably. It's not permamorph, but it's very close to it, right?
Definitely.
You need permamorph with level 20. But it's surprising that AG is just taking a chill pill right now.
I agree. And to be fair, because I've been quite heavy-handed on Cignal, so it's my turn to be heavy-handed for AG now. I think they've severely misplayed their mid-game, or their quote-unquote post-laning stage advantage that they had. Maybe they got a little shaken after the little scrap mid that they had, where they lost 4 heroes, which is fair enough. But I still think that they were way stronger. And of course, we have the caster vision, we have the all-sight, we can check all the items at a whim. Well, these guys can't. But I think that if they check the tapes, they're going to realize, oh, we were actually really strong for this period of time, and maybe should have gone for a few more early duels. I mean, your single target this game's incredible. And here we go, into the lane. Great purge off there from Among Daya as he blinks in. That's going to be now the Aghanim Scepter reveal here for Abat. And again, we have at least... Oh, hold on. Thought actually they will find the kill onto Jamesy quite easily, even giving him the duel victory. Alrighty.
Okay, well, killing Jamesy again. Yes, it's a mid laner, but it's a Rubik, so he's just here to create some space. However, dying there, completely necessary. Mid lane is the unsafest lane as it stands right now. Most people actually are trying to avoid the mid lane. If you actually look at a lot of pro games, in fact, in this tournament alone, right, we'll actually see the off lane or even the supports rotate into the mid lane rather than the carrier. The mid laner, because they're much more valuable. You know, this lane has become just the most perilous lane currently. They're going to try to take a Roshan on this. They could contest this with Overgrowth Supernova. I mean, they have a really good team.
Echo Slam, yeah. I don't know. I think now Signal's not too confident all of a sudden. I think BKB would do them very nicely here for a bat, but I don't know if they can just now sit back and chill, because I think AG have now decided they want to sit back and chill and are itemizing a little bit better for that. As we have now. Actually, Bloodseeker going for stats, interestingly, with the Eye of Scotty. Usually you go for just plus damage on him, don't you?
What?
On Bloodseeker?
It's interesting that he's going for Scotty, but just because you're against the Morphling, right? Because you reduce his...
yeah, good point. Good. Yeah, there we go. Good point.
It is common to go, as you mentioned, right? It's not so much the damage, it's the orb effects. And what is it? Is it still called orb effects? The Maelstrom, MKB, you know, these extra attacks that you can get.
Auto attack modifiers.
Auto attack modifiers?
That's what they used to be called. Yeah, because remember they were unique attack modifiers, UAM. And then, like, certain heroes couldn't use them.
I'm from Dota 1, man. I don't...
Yeah, okay, Boomer.
I'm sorry. It was orb effects from the beginning. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is these extra attacks, right, because they obviously proc when you blood rage yourself, guys. That's the only strength I see from a Bloodseeker in the carry position. Using your attack speed to your advantage, of course, right? Though, what we see in this game mostly is the blood rage is the tiny as opposed to himself, which loses him a lot of DPS. But as the game progresses, I'm assuming it's going to change as the Bloodseeker will actually carry more damage. But Scotty's a necessity here, not only against the Morphling, but it's really good against the Dream Protector as well. So I think it's a smart choice. Also, tanking out Bloodseeker is a bit of a double-edged sword due to the nature of Blood Rage, but we'll see how that goes a bit later. That's why when you're playing off-lane Bloodseeker, you try to avoid strength items.
I definitely still agree with the Lotus Call, but we do have, of course, the LC with Press the Attack. We have a Vengeful Spirit, so there's a few things that I think maybe you can afford to go a little bit later on a Lotus, but I think a Lotus game is amazing for sure, especially with a Morph Shaker. Oh goodness, I think they're going to catch a kill here as well.
There's the bot going in as well. He is turning
oh no.
Air Shaker, but they stopped him for now. No. Burst him down. A bot. Okay.
And
Jamesy's also going to fall here. Swap's just going to kill him.
Oh no.
Aris, can Icarus dive away? He saw Supernova. He'll be fine. That was really weird. That was completely... I mean, I guess you're Morphling, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm Air Shaker now. I'm God, but you're not, right? They can still kill you so easily. They have a Lina. This is the whole purpose they picked a Lina for.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Maybe they'd be better suited to wait. I'm actually surprised that they decided to try and fight against an Aegis. To be honest, I think that's a very interesting call to be making at that point, even with the better team fight. I guess, you know, to be fair, they're fighting in a really good choke point for them, right? I can't draw on the map, but you can see it. This is an amazing choke to be fighting at, so I definitely can understand at least the thought process there, but I think the Treant was too far away, the Phoenix wasn't quite there. Like, if you want to take a stand there, you need your entire team, I believe. Not just the Morphling. Not without BKB.
It seemed like their whole team was going there, but like for some reason Morphling went really further ahead, right?
Yeah, I get that, but yeah, you have to let them come to you when you're playing from behind like this, right? You have to let them come to you.
You can initiate, but your team needs to be ready for that. Like,
exactly.
Clearly weren't.
Yeah.
I don't know what that. Like, it was just Morphling. It seemed like a miscommunication there because the Phoenix Interpreter were so far back.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they're your team fight essentially.
Yeah, definitely. Like you maybe take that if you're insane like Abad is and you have BKB. But
yeah, exactly.
Not without BKB. So, but that's okay. Like I said, you're insane, and they're gonna go smoke again. They go, yeah, we fought once into Aegis. I'll do it again. As they will.
Okay, another attempt against UK.
Nice
Again,
force.
he's not level 20, so it's not permamorph quite yet, but it's pretty close to it.
Yeah.
So you have to be a bit careful, right? Because if he actually stops the morph halfway through the team fight, it's like when the Alchemist loses Chemical Rage and everyone just goes frothing at the mouth and rushes at you, right?
Yep.
Because they know exactly when to gank you. And I think RMG is looking for something similar. Scotty is completed on DB. Well, look at this, though. Now the actual Blood Rage chunks you, but he did go for the Lifesteal down, which I really appreciate. I think it's quite a smart way to mitigate the Blood Rage damage.
And it's nice to man fight the Morphling as well, right?
Yeah, it's very useful. And with the Scotty reducing its healing, it's even further, right? Because you actually get a huge advantage. And let's not forget that Morphling is ranged as well, which I think that's so... Huh, I actually don't know, because if he hits him while he's an Earthshaker or he's Morphling, I wonder if Scotty changes, but if he's ranged, of course, you get a much bigger effect from the Scotty itself in terms of attack speed slow, particularly.
Oh, no, you're right. So if I'm not mistaken, I think Dota treats Morphling as having 2 actual status bars, you know, or buff bars. So he needs to hit him in both forms, I believe.
Interesting. I thought I was just asking, like, when you apply Scotty on
oh, no, but you're totally right. I think they're going to go for a fight, by the way, while the Morphling is away, or at least push the tier 2. But you're totally right, because the length, for example, if you Heaven's Halberd him, is going to be different. Oh, nice counter initiation from Among Dia. They found Jamesy again. Unfortunately, they're probably looking for a better kill at this point, but the dual damage is good nonetheless. Great Echo Slam to counter initiate. They might actually win the duel. No, it's still going to be Womi. And now the Egg in a great place after the Echo, but the Echo just wasn't there, and Grims is a bit late as well with the Overgrowth. Laguna Blade onto Van. On top of it, more is ADB now popping the BKB. Morphling now trying to join this fight here, but he actually doesn't have his Shaker to morph into, and he's just getting chunked alive by DB. Oh no, Avo, that's not how they drew it up on the board.
But you didn't see the, you didn't see the team fight really being too successful there, unfortunately, with this team. I mean, you're supposed to have a superior 5-on-5, but this single target trap is working a bit better. In fact, now they're gonna, no, they didn't burst you.
No.
They're gonna take out the tower here.
Oh, Grims.
Yeah, Grims at least is defending this. Nice cutting the lanes by Grims. He actually went for a Veil Discord, by the way, to make this cutting a bit better. Most stream participants will just go for the Meteor Hammer instead. So I guess Veil also adds a bit in the team fight. Grims got seen by the Courier. Still trying to cut lanes. I like this build, honestly. You have to delay this game no matter what, so if everyone goes for just builds to delay the game, I think it's kind of appropriate. Jamesy has been a non-factor this game, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jamesy, I completely agree with you. That was a little bit of a. I think in the replay they're gonna look at that and go, well, what did the Rubik really bring to the table this game, right? A good solo kill at least on the tiny mid lane. After that, I think maybe they can decide what needs to change there, but what was I going to say? Oh, right. A big miscommunication there by the Morphling and the Shaker. I don't know who that was on. You know, if it's anything like the Tiny IO or anything like having a Wisp, it's always going to be on the quote-unquote support in the combo, which in this case is going to be the Shaker, to always be there to give you the Morph, right? As Morphling jumped in with Morph off cooldown, didn't have anyone to really jump in or to copy. So a bit of a mistake.
Because if you were playing 4 Shaker, and this is why the offlane Shaker is not always the combination with Morphin. If you're playing 4 Shaker, usually your big team fights from the offlane, and you use the supplementary team fight, right? But because you're offlane Shaker, you're kind of the big team fight, right? And then the Phoenix and Competitor follow up, because, I mean, they could initiate, but it's harder for them, because they obviously have less items.
Yeah.
And this makes it difficult, because Van is stuck between 2 worlds. Yes, I'm a blood bag for Morphling, so he can morph into me, very useful. I have to stay alive. But at the same time, I need to be a bit of a madman if you want to win this game.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's difficult for them.
Yeah, I think maybe they can try and bait a fight with Supernova. I mean, we saw, like, pardon me, DB earlier in the mid game or in the mid lane fight when they lost 4 heroes, he was just like target acquisition immediately to egg. Like he's just gonna run in and hit that thing. He loves eggs. As bottom, Jamesy has been located, and that's gonna be a dual victory. I'm curious as to what he was doing over here.
What a surprise.
It's not really where I think a Rubik should be playing. Maybe a Morph lane, obviously, with the Morph Shaker can get away with that, but the Rubik, even with the Blink and Boots of Travel, is not going to be mobile enough to be playing that aggressively.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he did go for a build. No, I'm not gonna. There's not even justification in his build. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been this case for Jamesy a while back. Maybe he doesn't value his life that much, and he thinks that he's more playing as a 4 now or as a 3. Letting the Earthshaker and Protector maybe take more of the farm. I don't really understand what Jamesy's doing in this game, to be honest. It feels like a bit of a futile effort to be relevant.
We are going to at least get BKB soon on our Morph lane. He's 50 gold away. Unfortunately, his TP scroll off cooldown. Or on cooldown, rather, but they're not going to be able to check the correct trees. Maybe if the side chop was still there, they'd be checking it, but no longer. He is off and away. He's managed to dodge out the rotations out from AG, just holding his breath. That would have been a very bad time to die. Roshan might be up as soon as in a minute, so I think that's going to be the next really big fighting point. The good news is that Abat will have he will have either buyback or a BKB available for that fight. And all the ultis are up here for Cignal Ultra. So they're still not out of it. Like I said, superior team fight, that's the beautiful thing about it, right? Is that can always bring you back into the game. You just need 1 or maybe 2 when you're down 20k, really good team fights, and you might be able to pull it off.
Right, you know, and with a strong carry to carry into the late game,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, not impossible. You have a supposedly OP, still somewhat OP combo.
Yep.
But the Bloodseeker is incredibly powerful right now. He has a
Yes.
ridiculous amount of net worth. He's farming like crazy. And I guess Tiny now is starting to lose his power, so I guess there's an advantage.
Yep,
Right?
you're absolutely right. He's kind of hit his carryover point. And a very interesting build, by the way, on this game from Among Dae. He's gone actually for the Vessel and the Yule Scepter, and next going into the Shivas. All great items. I think this is I think how Jamesy should be playing it, right? Adjusting to what the game needs and not just going for the same build.
Yeah, I agree. The BKB seems like a really smart idea. He did actually go for the cast range, so he's still playing. This would have been the game where I kind of see the Rubik actually going for more of the physical damage Rubik I told you about the other stream.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Hurricane Pike, because since you're already seeing this going to go late, right? And the Rubik is just not relevant if this goes late, at least the magic damage Rubik. And
Yeah.
you already lost your early mid, so you clearly weren't being useful there either. You might as well transition and become a Rubik that has at least a chance in the late.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's up to the individual player. Of course, if you haven't really considered that build or theory crafted it with your friends, then you don't really know.
Yeah. I still kind of like the cast range always. I think Rubik that's what he excels at for his kit, right?
Sure, no, I agree, but I'm telling you, like, this is a completely different way of playing the hero, to begin with, right? So I'm just saying this is like kind of contingency plan, because this is the biggest issue we've always talked about with the Rubik game, which is that if you don't seem to do enough in the first 20 minutes, you seem really weak. We've seen like really, really strong mid laners just completely falter because Rubik kind of wins his lane and then gets ganked 2 times. Like we talk about the Lina being dangerous, imagine Rubik. It's the same thing, but worse.
Yeah, now we have 3k gold, nearly 3,500 money in the 3,500 money in the bank here for DB.
Yeah, tons of monies. What kind
Tons of monies. He is.
The gold monies.
He's got lots of gold monies. He's going to be building a Scrooge McDuck vault here eventually with all his leftover monies. The Academ Scepter as well on Lina is fantastic to slice. I do actually have the 20 talent, so it's going to be a little bit less than 1,000 or just over 1,000 damage. Pardon me. It used to be something like 1180 back in the days when you would build Yule Scepter. No Yule Scepter, by the way, on our Lina, which is interesting. Guess they just not relying on her for the setup or the initiation, which is very, very reasonable.
Yeah,
actually,
with a
this
duel,
game.
right? Now, with the last picks with Legion and Tiny being your main initiators, I think Rina can just sit back and do the Zapper with the Blink Dagger and Aether Lanes. I kind of like it, to be honest. I think it's a
Yeah.
nice little build. She's very, very experienced, though. How is she level 20, morphing level 21? This is ridiculous.
She's just been farming, right? I mean, she's got more farm than the mid lane Rubik at this point, right?
That's true, actually. Yeah, mid lane Rubik, more like. I mean, we said, it was going to be a mid Lina. Turns out.
I do have to say, though, real quick, the problem with this build is she has not a single defensive item, except for the Essence Ring, right? Morphling jumps her, really nothing she can do except hope and pray that her team comes to save her. So that is going to be an issue.
I don't think it's very likely, very possible, sorry, with the current lineup. But I just... maybe just wait high ground and you play as defensive as possible, right? Hopefully
Yeah.
the high ground you can really defend.
I think you have to play for the choke.
Finds one of the Earthshakers. It's the Morphling Earthshaker. That's not very good, but Abat waveforms in time, so he's going to be fine.
Interesting decision. Interesting to not even try a swap there to break the Lincolns, but it's whatever. I mean, because the Magic Missile wasn't going to do anything but pop the Lincoln Sphere, so.
Yeah, I didn't realize he saw the Lincolns on. Yeah.
It's whatever, it's whatever. I mean, it was a hopeful Magic Missile anyway, right? I don't think Cignal should fight here.
Well, they're gonna destroy Vengeful Spirit first. They're gonna try a bot, activate the BKB. There they go with the Echo Slam to destroy UK. Not the ideal target with a duel to finish off Van. There you go, you lost your friend. You can no longer turn into Earthshaker, and DB is trying to find you.
They've already used Supernova
he
too.
could be punished by the Supernovas. Oh, no, you're right. The Supernova just finished.
They already used it.
Jamesy has the Rupture stolen at least, so you can use on the Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker can no longer run. Sunray is actually dealing a lot of damage. Overgrowth, also effective in the backlines. Abat hoping to go back in to try to kill DB, but DB still has the Aegis, which is why he can play so aggressively.
Yep. That Rupture just lasts forever on him because of Rubik, man.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
He just has to stand there. There we go.
That actually works with Rupture. Interesting. There's so many spells that is plugged on. So many debuffs that's plugged on. Incredible. So it's every time I see it work on a debuff, I'm actually just surprised.
Yeah, this is going to be real bad. DB is going to have some triangle camps to catch up on his farm with, so long as he doesn't accidentally kill them with the procs from Mjolnir. But he's going to have he's going to be back in fighting shape here. They know they have no Echo. There's no Supernova. There's going to be no Overgrowth as well. I like this decision. Signal, they realize this. They just have to push the lanes here and just try and hope and pray that they wait at least another 40, 50 seconds here for all these abilities to be up. Another minute, that is, for the Shaker, who has a BKB now, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good way to make sure initiations are more consistent. However, Rupture and Duel can still pierce that, right? But
yeah,
I guess you're not as vulnerable. Witless Shackle is fantastic.
And Laguna now.
They can give Witless Shackle to Vaughn, I would actually argue. And that way the Earthshaker is not so weak. Rubik is also another good contender for Witless Shackle. In fact, I think it's, yeah, Rubik is taking it. Yeah, I guess this speaks to how useful I find Rubik this game, right? Oh, he's going for an Axe.
Yeah,
this is BKB.
This is fine. This is fine. I really wish he swapped around the order. Like, if he had these items at this time, I wouldn't be that upset if he had gone for them in a different order, to be honest with you. That's, I don't know. I really like the mid Rubik. I'm in the same boat as you. I think a lot of players or a lot of people kind of just crap on it and they think it's bad. And I don't necessarily think that's true. I don't necessarily subscribe to the it's only good pre 20 minutes, because it's still good after. You have a farmed support, which is good. It's nice to have farmed supports, but you have to make use of that power spike. That's the whole point of why you pick it.
To me, it's more along the lines. I agree with you. Like, I haven't seen too much success. Statistically speaking, this Rubik doesn't do too well, at least whenever I see it in the big tournaments, right? In the mid Rubik. But if people keep playing,
oh, they're fighting out of the base again against an Aegis. These guys, I love it. I don't know. The Trim Protector can destroy the smoke. That's really good by Grim. Blink Dagger be cancelled by Shiva's? No. He's got a gem too, He's got a gem. They scouted him.
He didn't blink in time. He actually could have blinked, but he chose not to.
Oh, stolen Rupture?
The Bloodseeker now.
With
Bring
eggs?
him down with telekinesis. That's the double. Did I hear double Rupture on this Bloodseeker?
I don't know if they put...
DB's dying to the Sunray alone. That's going to be your Aegis gone. And Abat goes in. Tiny's dead because that was the second Rupture. The Supernova's used. The duel on the Morphling, though. That's pretty bad. Morphling got to survive this. Now the Overgrowth will try to reinitiate, but you're missing your damage dealer. Oh, that duel was so crucial. That duel was so good because with a Morphling alive there, they could have turned this around, but unfortunately without him, it's just impossible.
Really smart room from Jamesy there. That almost redeemed him, as he was just holding on to the Rupture the entire time, bought the Ags, he bought out for the Ags at that, because he knows that you don't need to re-steal it for you to get the upgrade. He immediately is granted the second charge and immediately puts them to use onto two heroes that want to be moving around in the fights, right? DB and Tiny, that's what they excel at, moving in and out. Well, DB just running around and clicking everything, but Tiny popping in and out with the Blink Dagger, with the Toss Ava, right? But not able to do that when you're Ruptured. He has to stand his ground and die to the Morphling, but now you're without a Morphling for 40 seconds. We still do have the Echo Slam at least. We'll see if they can hold on for a bit longer here, Abo.
Minotaur Horn helping out the Legion Commander. At this point, I think Sunray is your real carry because Morphling is doing less than the Sunray. I think both times they managed to beat the Bloodseeker just with Sunray alone. He has Satanic at this point, which is kind of ridiculous. And yeah, because Morphling is going for a Glass Cannon build, he just is kind of vulnerable to those duels. I think the winners of this game were Cignal up in the supports. The Trim Protector and the Phoenix were playing incredible, honestly.
Yes, I agree. I think those are two bright spots of this game here for Cignal.
Yep, I agree. But AG is overall, you know, I think they've kind of realized over the past few days of the tournament that their best asset is to try to play an early mid-game draft. That's where they excel. and if the game goes a bit too far, they seem to be a bit lost, right? So
Can I amend that previous statement? I think outside of team fights, the Cignal supports, they're doing exactly what they need to be doing. Inside the team fights, I'm not gonna lie, it could be a little bit better out from them, but whose team fights can't be better, right? That's just like saying, oh, you can always bowl a little bit better if you don't bowl a 300, but in this game there is no perfect. So I wouldn't take that, but you know, some of the supernovas, you know, have been a little antsy. Sometimes the overgrowth is a little bit late, but those can be other things as well, being problems. But hey, outside of team fights, I think these guys are doing exactly what they need to be, and that's always fun to see. Really smart supports.
yeah, exactly. I mean, they've been elongating this game to a ridiculous degree, right? AG could have finished this a long time ago if it wasn't for the Grim play, particularly Grims has been absolutely crucial towards their victory. Finally get a Basher and the Bloodseeker, so now a better way to deal with the Morphling. And he's close to level 25. I suppose he's going to go for the Max Thirst MS just because of the kind of Bloodseeker he's playing. And that's a little bit of extra movement speed. It makes it easier for you in team fights particularly.
Yeah, and
Maybe you need some save for Cignal. I wonder if...
Oh, a Force Staff might do that trick here, as Jamesy is going to be buying out for that one. With his nice cast range as well, he's going to be actually able to get that. The problem is, cannot cast that on your allies that have BKB active, so that's going to be a bit difficult for you to actually get done.
Right, because the Morphling always wants to go to the big KB. And the current problem is really the duel. The current problem is really that... Like, I would even argue that... You were right. Like, you kind of have to pile on the Lincolns and the Morphling. Maybe get multiple Lincolns so the Morphling has multiple Lincolns on him. I don't know.
And you know what really sucks is that, like, a Lotus is almost always the answer. Oh, they have a lot of single target, just go Lotus. That's not going to help you here against the Legion, because you're just going to give her a double duel victory, right? Because it's going to lock you down, and which is the important part against when you play against a Morphling. As we get the go when ready. Go when ready. I'm ready, boys.
I love the respect of go when ready. It's supposed to be G.
I really like that in this region. Yeah.
It's the SCA. It's the SCA respect for each other. You might be, what is it? Formal in the pubs. No, formal in the comps, but wild in the pubs. That's the SCA style.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Could have rhymed it a bit better, but I like it.
I realized what I was coming from, and I was like, I can't say that on the stream. So.
I still like it. I still like it.
Thank you for giving me that pass. Salkaras, I see you are giving passes now. There's a Salkaras now on the Legion Commander. Finished up. A good way to mitigate the Morphling's damage is, of course, he's currently only building for physical damage.
And the real problem that AG are going to have, as many Dota teams suffer from, as the Dota, I mean, it's in the name of the game, right? Defense of the Ancients, is actually pushing. Because the wave clear here for Cignal, when you have, I mean, at this point, 4 supports is so darn good. Their wave clear is insane. Like, they're barely getting anywhere close to the footsteps here of the base. And by now, they have timed out this Aegis. Another minute and 15 seconds here until Roche might respawn. But there's now a full Satanic and the Basher, as we said earlier, as you said earlier, that is, on our Bloodseeker. Tiny going next for his BKB, so just full utility off from Among Daya. I think this is great. It's kind of interesting because I feel like they've really fundamentally shifted how this team plays here on the side of AG. As you recall earlier, I feel like it's sometimes Mamang Daya is normally playing like DB is playing right now, where they both kind of want to be this run at them hero. And I think this game, it's shown really good, no pun intended, growth here on Mamang Daya to instead go for the utility items, the boring items, right? This build's not that sexy, but you know what? It's okay, because it's going to win you this game. I
mean, Mamang Daya just played the anti-Morphling, dude. Like, they actually know... Oh, wait. The duel here, finding Vaughn. Turn into him before he dies! There we go. A bot actually does exactly what they said, and he tries to turn into him the last second.
Oh, they're
to take advantage of that morph. They go for Wall Me, a bit difficult. Minotaur Horn, they don't have anything. They'll swap to start. UK is going to be the sacrificial lamb for now. But a bot did activate his BKB.
So
it doesn't feel too good. Oh, the Airshika still goes in. He can't die a second time, Vaughn.
Yeah,
oh my god.
I don't know what that was about. Morphling? Oh no, he only caught one. He didn't catch Womi.
Cheese though, eat him immediately. Womi, 20 seconds to the duel. I guess Jamesy has been stopped. Nice enough to strike to ensure that he can TP in time.
Gets stunned. The duel's an interesting steal for sure here on Rubik, because once you... Oh, no, he's got Laguna. Even better. Yeah, even better. Uh-oh. They're not done fighting, though. It's just Dream Protector, and he's got buyback, so it's not the biggest deal. But if it's a short Roche, which it's not here, luckily for Cignal Ultra, AG would have been probably in the driver's seat here firmly in this game. Instead, Roche is going to be a bit longer this time. I would be surprised if they didn't keep this courier inside the Roche pit to scout that immediately, but they're just going to push their advantage now.
A bot trying to turn to Rubik be a bit more useful. It's Morph. There you go. Find the Tiny, I guess, for now. Mamang Daya.
Great.
Almost died. The Laguna Blade dealt a lot of damage, but he survives barely at the
no.
end thanks to the press the
What?
attack. The
Phoenix?
Phoenix went in. He had the supernova available, and he died with it off cooldown. That's not great. Duel now being used by Rubik against Legion Commander, but he deals no damage, so Legion isn't dying. It's up
only
to a bot to
lockdown.
kill the rest of the team, but it's looking a bit difficult for him.
wow.
His turn into Lina. He's already lost the Rubik as well, and a bot
Nothing
is
to
going to
morph
be
to.
destroyed by these three. I mean, what is these teams? What are these teams?
What? Again, I don't know what the plan was there on our Phoenix. You kind of, Icarus dived in, and I was going, okay, nice. Now press Supernova. And then he just started walking right behind. Hey, guys, I'm on your team now. I don't know. Also, interesting interaction there. They gave Mjolnir to Womi in the duel, right? Legion Commander duel, you can only deal damage to each other. Yeah, they gave them the Mjolnir active, thank you, to Womi. Does that actually deal damage if you proc it, or does that count as a damage source from the Bloodseeker, so it doesn't work?
Oh, you mean I'm actually not uncertain about that. I think it counts as damage from Bloodseeker because it gives you last hit if you are using it on someone. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, nice.
Go slam, yeah, using the swap to his
No.
advantage, but I mean, yeah, there's no follow-up.
Yeah, too little, too late.
I'm hard pressed to say that this was a drafting thing. Like, I think AG played this really well, but on the other hand, I think there were a lot of sloppy play. DB.
Oh, did he drop his? Oh, come on.
I don't know. That was just really sloppy by Cignal. It's not the kind of Cignal that we saw last time. It didn't seem like they really played their game whatsoever this game. They seemed that they didn't utilize their team fight. Like, you picked the Shrimp Protector, Phoenix, and Earthshaker. I would expect you to have really good 5-on-5 engagements, but you were failing to do this all the time. I don't know. It was. I mean, kudos to Genuises. They played amazingly, and they ran you down.